Hi, my lovely ladies. Thank you for coming back. Welcome to my channel. My name is Leora and I'm so glad you're here. So today we have reason to celebrate and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's get right into it. So here we are, a very, very special day for me indeed, because today is my birthday. Yeah, I'm 39 years old as of today, and wow, I can't believe that that's true, but it is. Okay, so first of all, happy birthday, Leora! Yay! And I want to wish myself everything. I'm going to go for everything, and I know this is going to be a good and blessed year, and it's going to be full of new things and new challenges and new ways to grow and new ways to shine and new ways to sparkle, and it shall all be for the blessing and for the glory of God. And I'm just so thrilled that I can share this with you. My 39th birthday, unbelievable. And now I just have to mention this because I just came here into my studio, which is just basically a corner in my basement, okay? And I came in here and I'm always like under a lot of stress when I know I have to film. I have to get so much done because I have to do that in the morning before my kids wake up. And I came here and I haven't been in here for like 2 days. And okay, so there were the balloons suddenly here. And a lot of new decoration has been just dumped around my desk. It's like so many more flowers and bushes, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even sit down without like everything falling over. So that was my husband. Thank you. I by now probably have more decoration than followers, but yeah. So thank you very much, dear husband, for that kind of jungle support. So now that we spoke about that, we of course want to get into the topic, my part two of my weight loss journey, which is basically from the moment on that I decided that I need to lose weight. So last week in the part one, we spoke about how it all started, the whole weight gain story basically, and today we want to, pick up from there and move on. I said it last time, I have to say it this time again. I'm not a doctor, okay? So you cannot hold me responsible for things that might not work for you or might work differently for you. Please, if you embark on your personal weight loss journey, you have to go and find medical assistance, find a nutritional expert, someone who can supervise what you're doing and check you on a regular basis and get medical advice and support and all of that. So that is not my responsibility. I'm just sharing my personal story, and I also had medical supervision. I worked with a nutritional expert once a week, and I just advise you to do the same thing. Okay, let's begin. The moment I decided that I needed to lose weight was basically when I feared that I was gonna die. And from then on, it's sort of, I don't know, for me, it's always when I make a decision, then I go full force. So I know that there are a lot of people who are not like that. And for those of you who are not like that, it might be much, much harder to make that decision. But I also, just like everybody else, had so many diets already. Like, I've done so much dieting and so much back and forth and so much up and down in my weight. And I was so frustrated. And I basically came from a background of failure in that regard, because my experience was I will lose weight and I will gain it. There is no way I'm going to keep it off. And it's so frustrating. And basically, I knew already from the get-go that I'm just going to gain it back again, and I'm going to gain more than that. And it puts you into the mindset that you're going to fail. And that is not the right mindset. You have to clear all of that somehow out of your brain, and you have to give yourself the chance to succeed. It comes all down to your decision. You have to make the decision that this is it. Now it's now or never. There is no other chance. This is when it has to happen. And that is basically what I one day decided. Now it has to happen. Now is my time. Now that I basically was done having kids and I knew there would not be more pregnancies to interfere because of the weight gain and whatever. So it has to happen now because it has to happen now. There is no other choice. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life going up and down in weight and keep on struggling with this and keep on suffering from this. And I just know, I knew it has to happen now. So basically, the first step of getting anywhere is the moment you decide that where you are, it's not acceptable for you anymore. You want to leave that place where you are for good. That is the decision that makes the difference. And from then on, it's basically no more excuses. And that was one of my mantras that I repeated for myself over and over again because I discovered that basically I, in the past, when I went through diets and all of that, I made excuses for myself all the time. Why I'm eating this right now, and why I'm doing that right now, and why it's okay for me to be a little bit loose about what I'm eating and not working out and whatever. And I've noticed that so much with people who came, like now that I've lost the weight, and people who didn't see me for a while or whatever, and they come like, how did you do it? What, and when I talk to them, I notice it so much that everybody is making excuses that have nothing to do with weight loss. So I'm going to give you an example in a second. I just want to encourage you to go through your inner being and find the excuses that you're coming up with. And I'm not saying that you should like be mean to yourself or something, but try to be objective and really with a clear set, without being negative or positive, just neutral. Go through what you're thinking and what your mindset is and declutter. Okay? Because for example, there was that one woman I talked to, and she had lost weight previously, and then now when I saw her, she had gained significantly again. And I didn't go to her and say, hey, what happened? I just pretended that I didn't see it. But of course, she started by herself telling me about it. And she said, you know what? I moved apartments and I opened a new store, and it was hard with the kids, and all of these things. And I thought the whole time, what's the connection? What's the connection to you eating? If anything, you should be eating better with all the stress you're having involved, with all the changes in your life, and with everything. You should be nourishing your body and not punishing your body. Do you get where I'm going with this? It doesn't make any sense. And these are the kinds of excuses that will not serve you. Okay, for example, excuses like, okay, I had to go to 2 weddings this week, so I gained 2 kilos or 4 pounds or whatever. That is not an acceptable excuse. Why would you feel when you go to a wedding you can put garbage into your body? Don't do it. It's not worth it, you know? It's not worth it. And there are changes in your life that you have to decide them, and then you have to stick with them, and that's how you succeed. And don't make excuses. Don't make exceptions. That is absolutely, it's poison, because once you fall off the wagon, then you think, I already cheated, so I might just as well cheat for the rest of the day and get back tomorrow to my diet. And it's so much harder. It's just, don't do it. From my personal experience, I did not let myself cheat, not a single time. And I got a lot of weird reactions for that, because people cannot, they don't understand. They can't handle it. They say, just have a little sliver, or just, you don't have to eat a full plate, just try. And no, once you declutter your mind, and once you declutter your body of all those poisons, of all the sugar and the white flour and all of these things, your body doesn't need that anymore. It's a kind of addiction. It feels like, like an alcoholic maybe, who is dry and doesn't drink alcohol anymore, but he will be an alcoholic for the rest of his life, and like a dry alcoholic. So he cannot have alcohol, not in chocolates and not in nothing. You cannot give that person alcohol, because it will make him fall off the wagon. And basically, it's the same thing right here. If you eat something that has sugar in it, your body will start to crave it again. And you're basically throwing sticks between your own legs, and you will stumble and you will fall. And you shouldn't do that. Sorry if I'm coming across very preachy, but as you can, I think you can feel how passionate I am about this whole subject, because I have struggled with this so many years. And I want you to succeed, but it is really on your part to be strict with yourself and to not let yourself fall. It's not what comes from the outside, it is you. And that's what you have to realize. It is all about you. So when people come up to me and ask me, Leora, oh, you look great. How did you do it? And it always feels like, I have to tell you the truth, it always feels like people ask me that, hoping to hear that there's some kind of magic and some kind of pill, or some secret where they don't have to make the effort. They just take the pill, and the next morning they wake up and have 5 kilos less. People don't want to hear that it's hard and that it'll take time, and that they have to make an effort and they cannot cheat. People don't want to hear that. But I'm here to tell you that that's exactly what it is. There is no easy way out. And I can already see how people are clicking out now. So I just want to encourage you to stay with me and hear me out. And I already can see now that next week is going to be part 3, because there's no way that I'm going to finish all the things that I want to talk about right now. Anyway, so the first step is, it's not a diet. Okay, you cannot go on a diet, you will fail. You have to change your lifestyle. And this is such common knowledge that it's like, why am I even mentioning it? Because people still don't do it. Everybody seems to know it, but people still don't do it. You have to turn your whole life around. You cannot go on the way you used to. For example, it was hard for me because I was the only one in my family who did that change. If you can get your whole family to make that change to healthier living, and basically clean out your whole house of all the junk and all the things that make you stumble, then that's the easiest. If you can do that, then it's harder, but it can be done, because I did it. And I'm not exceptionally strong or exceptional in whatever way. You just have to be stubborn about yourself. This is the way you can show yourself that you're worth everything. This is the point And that goes beyond makeup and beyond all the beauty and beyond whatever that I'm also very passionate about, as you know. But this is the point where you say, I'm worth this. I'm worth it to be healthy. I'm worth it to have normal blood sugar levels. I'm worth it to have a good normal blood pressure. I'm worth it for my joints and my bones to be healthy. I'm worth all of this. And my family is worth having me for many more years around. So you're worth it. You're worth it. And you have to realize that as a queen, you have to fight. You have to fight your battles, and it's not easy, but you reign your kingdom in reigning yourself. So that's basically what you have to do. You have to change your whole lifestyle. So I declared stuff off limits, a lot of stuff. Okay, you don't have to do all that, maybe as strict as I did, but I was just sick and tired of not succeeding. And I just can't have that in my life anymore. I want success in everything. And I just couldn't be stuck in that hole anymore. So I decided, and I started with 123 kilos. I forgot now how much that is in pounds. I made a calculation in my last video. Um, it was a lot. So I made the decision then to not eat sugar anymore and to restrict even the fruits that I'm eating, just have 2 portions of fruits per day, and to have no bread for a while at least, and no white flour, nothing made of white flour. And I also did not eat any like chickpeas and all these starchy vegetables. I went on a very, very low carb diet because I wanted this whole thing, to have like a kickstart and to really go and push myself. And after losing something like 7 kilos, which was really, really fast because I started out really big, so the first kilos you lose, it goes really, really fast. So nobody saw that I had lost weight yet. Maybe just a tiny little bit here and there or something, but there was no massive change. But I remember a situation when I was in the evening. I was sitting with my fourth child. He was maybe 8 months old. I was giving him his baby bottle, and I was just holding him and giving him his bottle. And I suddenly noticed how my whole body is breathing. It was amazing. It felt like every single cell in my body started to breathe. It was like a sigh of relief for my whole body. And that's when I realized, wow, this is actually good on so many levels. And from then on, I just got addicted to being healthy in a good way. So I started to structure my life. And when you structure your life, you will automatically structure your eating. I set up a timetable for myself when I will be eating and when are the times when I'm not eating. And there is no grazing in between. So I would, for example, eat breakfast at 7:30 in the morning, and I would have a snack around 10:30, and then I would have lunch at 1:30, and I would have a snack at 4, and then I would have dinner at 6:30. And this is it. There is no eating in between, and this is how you make it work. Okay, this is how you get your blood sugar to be stable and not spike, because that will make you want to eat and crave for things. And by having that schedule, you will never get like crazy hungry that will make you go into like a big crazy binge eating attack, because you're always eating, and you know that your next meal, even if it's small, is right around the corner, and there is no reason to freak out that there is no food for you anymore. It is just 2 hours away, and you can do it to not graze in the sense of, I don't know if one says it in English like that. I think if one does, like a cow, who keeps like eating and eating and eating for hours and hours. Don't do that. You eat your meals, you eat a normal portion size. And if you don't know anymore what a normal portion size is, because that's what happened to me, I didn't know because I was always eating so much. So, what does it mean to have just one portion of something? You can Google that. There are places that describe to you with comparing it to objects that you know what a normal portion size is. For example, in a portion size for boiled rice or something like that, then they give you a third cup or something like that. So you can measure it and you can put it on your plate and you can actually see how much that is. Because if you just wing it, you will be off by far, believe me. So I just want to encourage you to, in the beginning, when you're going onto this journey and you're not yet sure about portion sizes, weigh it or measure it in some kind of way, just till you learn, until your eyes learn how a normal plate full of food is supposed to look. Because, quite frankly, we've forgotten. We go to restaurants and we get huge portions that are totally out of control. And this is how we learn to forget what normal eating is like, because we get served way too much, and there are these all you can eat restaurants and crazy stuff, and it's not healthy. It's not good for your stomach to expand, because then when it tries to go down to a normal size, you get hungry. And it's not even the normal size that it has to be when it's like contracted, when your stomach is empty, you know? It has like the volume that you have to put in that in order to get the feeling that you're not hungry anymore is way too much. So that will just, it will not be helpful for you. Another thing you can use as a useful tool with the small portion sizes is eat off a small plate, a small plate like a cake plate, and eat with a small spoon or with a small fork. And whenever you have put a spoonful or a forkful of food in your mouth, put your cutlery down and put your hands on your lap or sit on your hands or whatever. Because sometimes, I don't know if you've noticed this, if you're challenged in this way, I noticed it about myself that sometimes I was just eating and doing those motions because I wanted to keep my hands busy. And it helped me a lot to make the decision that every time I have put something into my mouth, I'm putting down my cutlery, and I either put my hands on my lap or I'll even sit on my hands, just, till I've actually eaten what is in my mouth. Then you can start like counting in your mind how many times you are actually chewing your food, or if you're basically just swallowing it whole. And that's, of course, not good from any perspective, not good for your digestion and not good for your weight loss, because the chewing actually sends messages to your brain that it's time to release those chemicals in your brain that make you feel satisfied. So it usually takes about 20 minutes from starting a meal till the brain actually kicks in and realizes that that you're full, or basically till the body starts to listen to the brain. So when you eat in those first 20 minutes like a machine, then that's crazy, right? Because you have such a big intake of calories and food that is not realistic. But if you eat slowly, your body will realize much faster that it's good. It's good. It's time to be satisfied. It's time to stop eating. Another thing I do, even now, religiously, is that I eat from nice plates. I never eat while I'm standing. I never eat out of the fridge. I always light a candle. Always. You can ask my family. There is always a candle burning next to my plate. I need that to give me the comfort and the feeling that I'm doing something good and that I'm worth it and that I'm worth the effort. And what I also did was I went and bought myself one set of dishes, a big plate, a small plate, a little bowl, and a coffee cup. I think I'm gonna just take a picture and include it right here so you see what I mean. Um, Something that I really, really loved and that spoke to me, and just one place setting of that, just for me. So while everybody else were eating on their dishes, I was eating from my dishes. I was eating my special healthy food from my dishes, and that made me feel special. And that is a very, very important point, that you should never feel deprived. You should never feel that you're missing out or that you're a poor little thing suffering, because you're not. You're actually the one who is taking charge of your life and who is doing something really beautiful to transform yourself. So that is something that really, really helped me to have my queenly, my queen plate. And I still do that now. I have my candle burning, I have my nice dishes, and I still do eat my healthy stuff, and I'm not going to go away from that. The next thing that was really, really hard for me to learn was to leave food on your plate. I don't know how you feel or how you were brought up. I was brought up that you finish what's on your plate and only then you're allowed to get up. I grew up in a household that was not really very rich. We had 5 kids in our home. I'm the youngest. And my mom did not earn any money, and my father had a very low income. We were not like crazy poor, but there was always the awareness that what we have is what we have, and there is not that much more. So we were raised to always finish what's on our plate. And that has been a lesson for me too. It was really, really hard for me because I felt when I decided that it's okay to leave food on my plate, I'm betraying my parents, especially my dad. And that's not true. You know, it was just a wrong lesson to learn that you have to always clean up your plate because there are kids starving in Africa. You know, that's like the typical thing. You should eat and you should overeat because other kids are starving. It doesn't even make sense. Yes, you should appreciate what you have and you should be responsible and act responsible with what you have, but it's not going to save anyone if you overeat. You know, it's not going to help those kids in Africa. Make a donation instead. That's going to help them. But if you overeat, it doesn't help anyone. So that's why I say start with small portions, use small plates, use small cutlery, and then the whole issue of leaving stuff on your plate is not even so drastic anymore because it's probably not going to happen. But if you use big plates, feel free when your body tells you, and please try to listen to your body. And it's that's another lesson to be learned. Sorry, I'm like all over the place, but there's so much coming to my mind right now. That's another lesson to be learned, that we so much have lost the connection to our own bodies and to listen actually to what our bodies are telling us. So try to tune in and actually listen to your body, what your body is saying to you, because your body is not necessarily your brain, you know, is feel how the food feels in your stomach and make a decision that you give yourself the freedom to react to it. So I already said that another important point is you should never feel deprived. And I've gone into that, you know, eating on a regular basis, never starve or anything like that. The very, very important thing is to have a support team. And I said that already in the beginning. You need someone to help you. You cannot do it alone. You can even go to like Weight Watchers or some kind of support group, or you find a nutritional specialist or a doctor or something like that. But it should be a professional. It should not just be a friend where you're deciding, you know, from today on, we're going to go walking together and we're going to help each other, you know, to eat it healthy, because you can just as well decide in like 2 days that it was a failure and we're just gonna leave it. You need someone to push you forward in those moments where you don't have the strength to push yourself. And those moments will come. And they came for me too. And I needed people to encourage me. And that that was basically then what propels you out to, move off the plateau when your weight plateaus and you get discouraged and you think you're stuck and you can't do it. And especially when you have to lose a lot of weight and you see that there is such a long journey in front of you, and it's scary, you know. So what I did was, first of all, I got help, as I mentioned, and then I said, okay, 1 kilo at the time. I knew I would have to lose at least like 50, 60 kilos, and that is a thought you can't. It's like it feels like you're standing at the foot of a huge mountain and you're supposed to climb that mountain and you have no tools and you have slippery shoes and there is like a landslide coming towards you. Don't do that. 1 kilo at a time is good enough. Just focus on that next kilo and don't think of anything else. That also helped me personally a whole lot. So basically, what it all comes down to is weight loss is a mind game. If you can change your mind, you can transform your body. That is so important. You can do it. You have to tell yourself that you will do it. And my mantra, basically, when I went out running and when I decided to eat this and avoid that, my mantra was I will fight for it and I will not give up, and nothing, nothing, nothing ever is going to stop me. Nobody, no matter what people say, no matter what kind of food they want to tempt me with, even if they mean it well, nothing is going to stop me. So you need that kind of mantra that really, really makes you strong and gives you the power to go ahead. And yeah, so I knew I will fight this, and this is the time of my life to do it. And there is no second chance, there is no more excuses. This is it. So that's how I succeeded. There are more points I want to make, but I think I'm going to leave that for part three because I don't want this to get super extreme long again, and it probably is already. I just want to add one more thing for today, and that is don't be surprised or get upset when people don't react the way the way you think they would react to your weight loss. It happened to me all the time that in the beginning, when I had just lost a little bit, people were very supportive and said, "Wow, Leora, that's so amazing, and you go, girl," and everything. And then as the time went on, and okay, so I lost weight at some point very, very fast because I worked out like crazy. I went running every day, and the whole issue of exercise, we'll do that next week, and all kinds of other things. But people started to be almost negative, because, and I think that's just a thought. Um, I don't think people want to be mean or want to be discouraging you, but I think there are so many people out there who are big or who are some kind, at some level challenged when it comes to weight or when it comes to eating, and they cannot handle or they don't like to see that a person actually did it and they can't. So that spills over into what they're saying because at some point it starts to be negative, and it, me personally, it hurt because in addition to that, people did not come to me and told me those things. They came to my husband and started to ask him, "Is Leora okay? Is she sick?" Stuff like that. And while I, of course, realized that there was a certain amount of true concern for me, it is also that aspect that basically those people are going through the same place where I was, when I basically never succeeded. And it is very hard for people to see someone else succeed. Not that they are necessarily jealous, but in the bottom of their heart, they want to succeed too. And I don't know, is that I don't know if I'm getting across what I want to say. It basically puts a mirror in front of them, and it makes them see the places where they have to work on, and that's hard for them. So sometimes it's not like an attack on you, but it's like negative vibes, and that really really hurt me because I was putting my everything into this, and I was very positive about myself, and I tried to always encourage myself and motivate myself, and then my husband comes home and tells me, oh, you know, I met that person or that person, and she said, oh, is Laura sick, and what's going on? And one person even said to me, wow, you don't even look pretty anymore. And that was actually the day when I got my first modeling job. And I got so upset at that because it's just not fair that people say something like that because they can't handle their own issues, you know? Because how can I get my first modeling job and someone is telling me you're not pretty anymore? It just, someone is lying here, you know? Anyway, so I just want to warn you that that might happen. But for the most part, people are very, very positive because people also admire someone who actually goes and achieves things. Most important thing is if you want to start something, start it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. The next meal is your next chance to make a change. Don't push it off. It doesn't serve you. Do only the things that serve you, and changes need to be made right now. When I really realize something in my life, and that's not just about eating in general, when I have a problem or I'm stuck in some like in a certain way, or when I have to learn something new about makeup, and I don't like the feeling of not being perfect and not, you know, being criticized about my makeup by my teachers. But when I realize something and know that they are right, then I'm going to change it, and I'm going to work for it, and I'm going to do it now. I'm not going to wait till tomorrow. So that is that whole thing with falling off the wagon for just one day and then going back to it tomorrow. Don't do that. Even if you fall off the wagon, and the chance is very high that it will happen if you let it happen, then say it like that. Okay, it happened. It's okay. I will forgive myself, but I'm moving on, and I'm going to get right back on my track, and I will not fall in the same hole again. Very, very important. Don't give yourself a day off. You have to push forward. It's hard, but it's so worth it. Girls, it's worth it. I'm living a whole different life now because of that. Let's face it, all of those opportunities, I wouldn't have done any of this if it wouldn't have been for the weight loss. And I would not have the self confidence to sit here if I would have, like, if I were still looking like the way I looked. I I wouldn't sit here, you know. So I just want to encourage you to do it. Just do it. And if it's not weight loss you're struggling with, if it's something else, just translate those main points to your own issues and try to, like, you know, attack it and conquer it and expand your kingdom, because you're the queen, you're sitting on the throne, you are the one who makes the decisions. There is nobody making the decision for you. It's you. You have to put the crown on your head. That's the time for my scepter. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. So, bottom line, if you're fine with your weight and if you're overweight but you feel good, like, don't, whatever you do, you're welcome in my kingdom. Okay. But if you feel that you are struggling and you're suffering and you want to be different, then I am here to support you. And that's what I'm doing. Da, 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 da. My loves, this is it for today. I'm going to celebrate a birthday now. And I just really want to bless you all, and I want to just set it free that this will be for the blessing of someone. And also, my next video that is going to come up next Thursday with part 3. And I hope this is it then, at least for now. Maybe we'll do a video later on with questions and answers if there are any questions. I'll I'm encouraging you to send your questions if you have something specific you want to know, and I'll write them down and I'll get back to it in a separate video. So, and that's that. If you want to comment something, comment. If you want to follow me on my other social media, feel free. All the information is in the description box. And come back for my next video, which is going to be on Monday. It's going to be a big one, believe me, with a big surprise. And that will be a wrapping tutorial and Lyra's latest looks. And what else? That's it. I just want to give a big hug to all of you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all the loveliness and everything that you've been bringing towards me. I'm truly blessed by all of my faithful subjects. And truly, you're not subjects, you're fellow queens. So you always feel like fellow queens. And I'm doing videos that are way too long, so please forgive me for that, but it's just so much that has to be said. Anyway, I'm putting down my scepter and I'm going to have a birthday now. So hugs and kisses to all of you till we meet each other again on Monday, and up until then, I love you. Bye.